let's talk about one of the more famous Nepo babies in writing, Joe Hill. Now, this is my first read by this author. The reason why I selected this one, though, is because I did watch the limited series on AMC, and I don't regret going back to the book to actually give him a try. What I like about the adaptation is that there's a little bit more time with the episode format to really go into the backstory and add to a bunch of the characters that are only just mentioned in this one. Going back to the source material, I can definitely see his connection to his famous father, Stephen King. Very similar writing styles, themes, and even tropes, which kind of makes sense because instead of just reading on writing like many would-be authors, he was pretty much living it. I guess that means even the horrific addiction-laden years too. I also think that some of the criticism that you'll see with Stephen King's writing will also apply with Joe Hill. This book is going to center on our FMC, a young girl, Victoria McQueen, although for the most part she's going to be referred to her nicknames, Vic or the Brat. Victoria has a very special ability when it comes to finding things. It seems to be tied to her love of her motorcycle, which is far too dangerous given her age, and how she uses it to cross a questionable bridge in order to find what is lost. In this world, she's not the only one with those abilities. There are others out there with their own unique gifts, and they use it for more unsavory reasons. As she learns more about herself and the reality that she's in, she's also exposed to the monsters that are out there and is finding that her story may also be tied up to theirs. It is definitely not for a YA audience. It is more mature and can have some triggering subjects. Although for me, the most triggering thing was how he described the size of one of his characters. It just kind of kept on going on and was coming off a bit body shaming. I appreciate that it is an FMC. I have to acknowledge that as a man, I mean, how much can he really put himself within the mindset of Victoria? Even if he means well, we have to acknowledge that she is a complex character, one who has lived through a lot of trauma bonds that are part of the plot needed in order to develop her character. So if you get icks on that, totally understandable. Just like his father, his imagination is pretty engaging. It's one where it makes it hard to put the book down. Even if I knew what was going to happen because I watched the miniseries, I still finished this in about a couple of days. On the supernatural front, it had a lot of elements that I love, but it incorporated enough of a twist where it felt different enough. Yes, we have living vampires, but the inclusion of Christmas Land and how everyone gets there is just messed up and imaginative, much like how these abilities manifest in these special people and the price they end up paying for it. If you're already a Joe Hill fan and you have a fave of his that you just need to recommend to me right now, you know what to do. Please pop it in the comments below.